Well, it used to be a little bit of a throwaway comment when someone would buy a convertible, get a radical haircut, or even start dating a younger partner. Everyone says it's just a midlife crisis, but it isn't necessarily a laughing matter.
The world is moving faster than ever. The job market can be challenging, and cost of living pressures can mean just staying afloat is a concern to many. Crisis to Contentment is the new book that argues crises can hit at any stage of life, but there is always a way through. Author and psychologist Dr. Marnie Lishman joins us now live from Perth. Good morning to you, Marnie. Recent research backs up the notion of a midlife crisis, saying 47, the age of 47 is the unhappiest age. What is it about the late 40s and early 50s that keep us getting us down?
Yeah, it's such interesting research, and it's specifically 47.2, which makes it really interesting in developed countries. There's so much going on in our 40s and 50s, and in the modern world, it's quite hard to be an adult. So we've got a lot on our plate. There's a lot of physical changes that are a little bit more aches and pains that are kind of creeping up on us. You know, a lot of us are parenting. Some of us are looking after elderly parents at the same time and working full time. So there's a lot of pressure on us. And yeah, I think a lot of us are struggling with our identity, asking ourselves, who even am I at the moment?
Yeah, life is so different now to what it was, say, 20 years ago. Does the way we live have any impact on the midlife crisis concept?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I know that every generation has tough times and challenging times, but if you think of the modern adult, you know, we have multiple roles that we have in our community. We have a lot going on, and the world is so fast-paced. And we're also absorbing all those global crises that probably 20, 30, 40 years ago, we probably didn't read about in the newspaper till weeks after it happened. So I think a lot of us are an anxious bunch. We're absorbing what's going on in the world, and that's very much affecting us and how we're thinking about, you know, our children and what we're going to do next, and even just trying to adapt to what the massive changes in our careers as well, and what we have to keep up with. That really affects our psyche, and we can get into that kind of crisis point at times because it's just a lot going on for us.
And you talk about what's happening around the globe. People say living through the pandemic, they feel like they've lost 2 years of their life. So that's another layer right there.
Oh, exactly. And for those of us who were extremely busy through the pandemic, we were kind of just trying to keep up with everything, and we were making stuff up as we went, trying to do the best we could. And I think that pandemic fatigue is still with us. It's really quite difficult to get in to see a psychologist. There is a mental health crisis of sorts that's happening at the moment. So I think a lot of us are actually feeling the effects of the pandemic now, and even just starting to get help for that. So yeah, that adds to the burden.
Yeah. When I was 45, I went into a motorcycle shop looking at a motorbike and it was all black, and the guy came up and the salesman said, "That's MLC black, midlife crisis black." That's how I knew I was in a... I didn't know till then. But what are
like sold?
Yeah, I'll take two. What are the common signs? How do you know if you're in a midlife crisis?
Yeah, well, definitely. It could be you're looking for some shiny things to buy, of course, and you might even, you know, the stereotype is to run off with the younger woman and things like that, but it's certainly not what I'm seeing when I'm seeing clients. So the modern midlife crisis is exhaustion, lots of aches and pains, people really feeling confused about what they want to do next, and that just kind of not at ease type of feeling is happening to lots of people. And I think a lot of people in their 40s and 50s are kind of looking back at their life and saying, oh, am I on the right pathway, or did I just kind of jump onto this socially defined pathway early on in life, and oh, am I really happy with that? So it's kind of a perfect pivot time, a kind of catalyst for really starting to dig deep and saying, is this really what I want to keep doing, or could I change some things in my life so I end up having a better second half of life than even my first half of life?
Okay, so your book is called Crisis to Contentment. And you do offer a way through. What are some of your tips for navigating out of this slump? I guess for recognising it and then navigating.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's listening to those emotions. I think in middle age, a lot of us are a little bit irritated. We're getting annoyed at other people. We're a little bit grumpy. So it is kind of listening to those emotions. And instead of becoming a grumpy old person and keep going on that trajectory, is actually listening to that and saying, what is that about? And can I do anything about it? So it's, really developing that emotional well-being and tapping into those emotions and asking yourself, what do they mean? Looking at those family changes and seeing how you can adapt to that, because obviously children grow up, parents get older, those sorts of things we have to get used to. A lot of people in middle age are starting to be by themselves, so they might have some relationship breakdowns and they're struggling with loneliness. So it's really thinking about how can I move through that and get used to that solitude. And of course, sometimes there's lots of career changes too that we have to keep up with, and people start new careers in their 50s. So it can be a really exciting time.
Oh, Marnie, love to chat more. I've got to go and polish my motorbike, but lovely to talk to you this morning. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.